sketchy, man. I don't want to lose a hand, you know? You see, it's cool to see him, but it's got to be at a distance. Yeah. I have like 5 neighbors who like go hard, like hard. Like one, one Capolilo, right? He's like in the distance, but he has a show, like a show, dude. It was crazy. But anyway, a lot of neighbors putting out some good fireworks. But happy birthday to America. Appreciate you guys hopping on the pod. And episode 43 today, not too action packed, but we're gonna talk about a couple things. Um, yeah, we'll go from there. We're gonna start with our favorite recent topic, which is gonna be data centers. Something going on in Hammond, or maybe not going on. Uh, and then there's a development called the Fountains that's been going on for years, or I should say, in the works for years. Don't have a full update on it, but I want to highlight it a little bit and then maybe bring some awareness to it in the future and talk a little bit more about it. I think could be a very cool development for City of Crown Point. Uh, excuse me. And then another housing development in a prime location of Crown Point with Diamond Peak Homes. Capstone is the name of the development. And then lastly, shutting down of a classic 30-year dive bar in Crown Point. We'll get to that in a minute. But we're going to start with the data center world. Hammond Data Center expansion plan. This is July 1st. This is starting on July 1st from the NWI Times. Hammond Data Center expansion plan ends as developer fails to meet a deadline. This story is from, the Times. The bid for a $7 billion, 450,000 square foot expansion of a data center project. This is just like over and over and over again in Northwest Indiana right now. Along the shores of Lake Michigan in Hammond is officially over. I don't want to say thank God, but if it's along the shores of Lake Michigan, dude, like that could be such better land or such better development. Obviously for a data center, the water is great. City of Hammond announced the end of a 4-party agreement, principally between the city of Decennial Group, a Chicago-based company, on Wednesday morning. The Hammond Redevelopment Commission and the prospective tenant CoreWeave were also part of the agreement. The deal, which first inked in June of 2025, required the developer, Decennial, to satisfy several conditions, including a power supply agreement with NIPSCO and a lease agreement with CoreWeave before moving forward the expansion of the Digital Crossroads project. This is a quote from the city of Hammond. Because the conditions were not satisfied, the agreement has expired. No additional extension of the current agreement will be offered. That came from the city of Hammond. That's interesting to me. Um, hmm. Gabe, you got thoughts on it? What do you know about this, and what are your thoughts on this?
I mean, I was looking into it. Obviously, some things have changed because it was the beginning of June 2025. So just over a year ago, the city of Hammond approved in a vote 8-0 to give them this expansion. Now, fast forward 1 year and it's falling through. They're saying that they're not giving them an extension. Obviously, something changed. They were unanimously voting for it. And what it is, it like you said, it is an expansion to an existing data center that used to be an old what was it? Let me see. It was like a power plant over there. State Line Energy Plant is what it was. And now it's just a little bit over 100,000 square feet data center that has been running. From my understanding, it was one of the first in the region, and they were going to expand it. I don't know. Maybe the Bear Stadium has a little bit to do with them not wanting to expand it. Not sure. I don't know why. 1 year later, they're just like, no, we're not doing it. What I found interesting is one of the limiting factors for them to grow larger was the NIPSCO infrastructure. Seems to be a recurring theme for all of these data centers that they need some kind of deal with NIPSCO because NIPSCO cannot power all of the possible data centers that want to go up in the area. Um, I just find it very interesting. And looking at it, when they wrote that article a year ago, it's so funny that I just see so many of the exact same generic buzzwords for all these data centers. It's going to create great economic output. It's going to create jobs. That's just that, from my opinion, that's the only positives I'm seeing. But they really beat it up in all of these articles, which I just find so interesting.
You know what this so where this data center is right now looks like this right here, right? Literally on the shores of it's literally like Indiana Illinois border, and there's this bump out. Nico, we make sure we put that little like screenshot there where that's at. And then there's like beach frontage Hammond Lakefront Park and Bird Sanctuary. But um, Gabe, to your yeah, by the marina and the horseshoe. When I look at this though, I don't know how anything could ever fit from Chicago from the Bears right there. Is that an ideal location? You bet your ass it is. But is that enough space? I mean, how many acres is that? Like four?
It's 25
Oh,
acres.
dang, dude, that's way bigger than I thought. Okay, then that's possible. I could be wrong. That must be a massive building.
It's 100. It's 105,000 square foot. What's existing, and they were going to put another 450,000 square foot. You can see the empty space. That's probably exactly where they were going to put it.
It would be really, really, really hard pressed to put the Bear Stadium there. But to your point, interesting timing. It's been 1 year. Why are you like, nope? What else do you have planned to put there? And what is it zoned for right now? What else would you want? I mean, I don't know, man. That's some prime real estate. You're literally on. That's some really prime real estate.
Right on the border. And you know, at the time that they announced it, it would have been Hammond's largest development in its history. And that was 1 year ago. Now, fast forward a year, the next largest possible development in Hammond history would be the Bear Stadium if it comes here.
So there's separate parcels here, like multiple parcels. City of Hammond Redevelopment owns that. Digital Cross or 301 Digital Cross. Okay, so the company, City of Hammond. So that's all City of Hammond. Um, let's try to measure this really quick. See if we can get a measurement here. I should have done this before. But while we're talking about it, how many acres do we have here? You said 25, right? That would be amazing because that would make it really. Oh,
Just such an awesome location to have it literally on the. I mean, I know it's on the lake now in Chicago, but
that's saying 7. If that is the size, if I am wrong, which I don't know why that to me doesn't seem, that seems like it's just looking at it from a map perspective. But um, that would be insane and that would be extremely doable for, and imagine that, dude. My problem with going to Hammond for the Bears, here we are on the Bears. My problem with going to Hammond was that it wasn't going to be on the lakeshore. That's why I want to go to Gary. This is literally on the shoreline, on the Indiana Illinois border. Dude, that would be insane. Um, interesting. I like the turn you just made, and I didn't know you were going there, but I think that that is pretty freaking cool. Let's see what this says. From I'm on the Lake County Assessor site for everybody. Yeah, that's 30. That parcel's 30 acres. What about this parcel? Okay, cancel the. Yeah, that's fine. I want a different parcel. I need. No, though. Right now I think I'm on the one that's surrounding it, and that's not this. Okay. How do I get rid of? I want to get rid of that. Okay, this right here. No, I don't want that anymore. All right, here we go. Give me back. Dude, that's interesting.
I mean, when you look at the surrounding blocks, it looks like you could fit a few city blocks there.
Yep. Yeah, man. This is interesting. If that is truly the size, then what's the address to that? Let's see. Oh, I got 100 Digital Cross.
Yes,
Okay.
that's what I had.
All right, cool. Sorry for the kind of we're doing some discovery while we're talking, so I apologize to you guys. Yeah, I see 77 while doing this. Yeah, man. I mean that is if that is 77 acres, they're gonna take that, tear that sucker down, and
Would,
make that the Chicago Bears Stadium. Whoa, dude, I like this. All right,
what
that
a
makes a
that would be an
ton of sense to
amazing
me.
location. You're right by the casino. I mean, you
11
almost a
acres there.
corner of that is touching Illinois.
11 acres there. 2.3 acres there. Um, There was a 30-acre parcel. What's that one? Oh, whoops. What's that? Um, 10 acres there. This is big. 20 acres there. What's the surrounding one? 30 acres. Yeah, this is 70 something acres. And then you have this beach frontage right here. I mean, sorry, but the bird sanctuary is probably going to go, y'all. I hate to tell you, but I think that means the bird sanctuary is out. I know. Yeah, Kyle's going to be real upset about that. But 77 acres directly on the water, directly. Mayor McDermott is up to something. Gabe, good call, bro. All right. That was great. I'm actually kind of pumped now. Because if you're the Chicago Bears and you see this, you're like, oh yeah, Soldier Field's right here. And you're just gonna go right here. That's it. And we're on the lakefront. Dude, the new field on the lakefront is be a dome. Whatever. That's fine. It's still gonna be there's still gonna be it's still gonna look sweet.
That's the only thing I don't like about the new stadium is it's going to be a dome no matter what.
Wow, 77 acres is super possible, dude. When we were looking up, when we were going through a lot of like the Bears talking about moving in general, it's the 330 something acres that they have in what is it? Arlington Heights.
Yep.
That is not common. Most of these places, like a lot of fields are like 77 acres is extremely doable. They may not have as much development around it with like retail and all that stuff, but everything else is you literally have the railways and everything. Gabe, I like the way you just took that. That is something for us to pay attention to. But why else would they stop that plan? That's a ton of revenue, ton of money, ton of taxes.
Right.
Why else would they stop it?
After 1 year, everybody
1 year,
unanimously
yeah,
voted,
it's a done deal. It's
you
falling
know what?
through.
We don't want the
Hmm.
biggest development in Hammond history, but why?
Because we want the Chicago
We want the next
Bears.
biggest one.
Come on now. All right. Next story. We will keep an eye on that. That is interesting. Next story. This is one that I've been kind of waiting for more news on for a while, but this is a December 7th, 2021 story. Okay, so and it was that's when it was last updated. So this is far out, but there's been signage out front. I think it's worth talking about, and then I want to keep in touch with it because I think it's a huge development. I-65 and 231, the northwest corner of I-65 and 231 is supposed to be the what's called the Fountains development, a mixed-use development proposed on 231. At the time, said $185 million development. It is going to be way more than that, just with the cost of things going up. But I'm just guessing. However, um, here we go. This is similar team that did a development, which is the Centennial Village development in Munster, which is a nice development, mixed use development, nice retail spaces, nice living spaces. This right here in the Fountains is looking to be, if you look at this graph here and or this rendering here, it's going to have tons of outlet retail, so almost like a nicer, higher end outlet mall retail space is what they're looking for. A couple big box stores, and then some residential townhomes. They've started the townhomes. So when you see the sign, it says coming in like summer 2025 or maybe 2026, like early, it says the townhomes have started. So the DR Horton is building. They don't like the townhomes. These guys don't, but I think they're decent townhomes. Um, like $300,000 to $350,000 townhomes. Those have started. So here we go. Let me do this. A leg. Yeah. So this development here with the fountains is a legacy development. They're referring to it that will combine living, retail, office spaces with restaurants and other amenities to call Crown Point home. This was back in 2021, but the Plan Commission principal, let's see, Jeff Band, principal of DVG team. DVG does a lot of the surveying in the area. The fountains and mixed use development will be located northwest corner of 231 and I-65. Similar team who did the Centennial Village in Munster. Project was presented all the way back in February of 2018. Jeez, man, it's a long time ago. We're in 2026. It tells you how long these things take. Crown Point is the Crown Point project is driven by growth in South Lake County. Let's see what they're talking about having here. Okay, 63,000 square feet of commercial outlet space. 202,000 square foot grand loop. I'm not really sure what that is. Outlet retail center, which would include experiential retailing, specialty grocer, which everybody wants a Trader Joe's. Everyone's talking about. I would take a Whole Foods there, but
Trader Joe's.
Trader Joe's. Okay, everyone wants a Trader Joe's.
Trader Joe's has some of the most fire like dips for
Mm,
like fruit chips and stuff like
okay,
that, and
Let's
Kyle's here
let's
for the
build it.
dips and the fruit.
some great frozen food selections.
All right, all right, all right. Spoken like a true bachelor, baby. Give me the frozen food section at
Yeah.
Trader Joe's.
I
It
The-
would be a phenomenal spot to put the first Trader Joe's in Northwest Indiana.
It's
But
some high
um,
quality TV dinners.
two branded hospital hotels, several multi-story office buildings, and 132,000 square feet office park. There are 322 residential units, mostly townhomes, condominiums, and a remote firehouse for the city. Pretty big development when you look at it on the map. It's like, okay, you have like a high end, they want to refer to it as like a higher end outlet mall, retail space, office space, residential space. There's a lot of water, the fountains, obviously you pull in and it's this huge, beautiful like fountain. I think it looks really nice. Two hotels, and hopefully a Trader Joe's. So Kyle can have some frozen food. Um, Now this is far off. I need to get an update on this and figure out a little bit more, and we'll talk about it more. But Gabe, what's your initial thoughts about this development, like what it is?
Well, I love the location. Your catty corner from the new hospital. They've been Broadway's really been blowing up. They have so many new developments, new restaurants. It seems like they're constantly building over there. So amazing location.
One of the things that we get a lot of is like, people are like in Valpo or in St. John, it's like, well, yeah, there's like, things like the Targets and, stuff like that where you can like go. And that is true. I mean, Valpo, obviously for Porter County, everybody goes to Valpo for everything. And people from Lake County go to Valpo for dinner and stuff like that. But Crown Point doesn't really have a lot of those, kind of like bigger retailers. And at the same time, this looks like it's going to be smaller, like nice retail. Obviously, you go to Michigan City for the outlet mall. Um, but this would be a lot different than a lot of what's in Northwest Indiana because it's like you have a nice outlet. This is a big development, man. Like this is huge. Um, and I think it's the type of development that we hear. So like in Northwest Indiana, the biggest issue that we have is we don't have great commercial space. Like we have nice homes, nice developments, there's nice houses, but there's not a lot to do, as some people will say. This could be another good example. The other thing that I like a lot about this is the office space. I think that when you build a development like this, and this is a little bit different because office is not doing well, historically throughout the country, after everything with the pandemic and people working from home. But in Northwest Indiana, there's not a lot of great, nice office buildings where companies can put their business of 50 employees, 80 employees, 30 employees, 150 employees, whatever it is, because they're out in like Oak Park or whatever, or Orland Park, or, those areas where they have nice office spaces. We don't need, 7-story office spaces like they have in those areas where you're at in Naperville or whatever, but some nice office buildings here where a company could say, we're tired of Illinois. Like people who are leaving and moving here, they want to move their business here and bring their jobs here, right? That to me, I like a lot. And it's not just people from, from Illinois. It's also companies here locally who are like, people have lived here their whole lives, but they run their business out there because of what it is and office spaces, et cetera. So that's something for me that I like a lot of. I think it's a great place where you're going to see companies, good companies, bring in their employees to come and work. And I think that that's awesome. Like you bring in a nice development like that, you bring in good quality companies with good careers, high paying jobs. They're going to be at a place to shop right there. You got the hospital right there. You got I-65 right there. People will commute to work there because you got a nice place to work. So I like it. And obviously from the retail space, like the shopping is great. It gives more something to do. I have been told that there is not a Top Golf, but something similar-ish. I know there's like putt shacks around, stuff like that. Something that's like an outdoor. What's the one in Florida that Tiger Woods has? Pop Stroke, yeah. Not and that was mentioned, but not the actual company doing it here. They seem to only do like Florida and stuff, but like something similar to that, which would be sick. It's like you can go there and like do something like that, grab bite to eat, go to a restaurant, and then grab your frozen food for the next week at Trader Joe's. So I think it's a good. I think this is awesome, and this is a lot of what Northwest Indiana is missing for the area compared to certain, not saying we want to be like the Napervilles of the world, but something like this. We don't have 50 of these like they do, but something like this I think would be a good addition. So anyway, I like it. I think it's a great location for it. We'll finish up with two more short ones. Capstone Development. There's a new development in Crown Point, right off on south of 133rd. So just basically just south of Crown Point High School. Diamond Peak Homes is involved in this. And I know that from my understanding, there may be more than one builder involved with this. But for now, I know the initial phase of this, which you guys will see on the south end of Capstone, or the south end of 133rd that connects to the Gallery subdivision. There's a road that was a dead end road forever, led to a cornfield or just open woods. That is now going to be this development. Capstone Development is a development here by Diamond Peak Homes. They're opening up the first phase. Now, if any of you guys have ever seen a development that Diamond Peak has built, go look at like Lakeside, for example. Very nice development, nice homes. People have an issue in Northwest Indiana right now with development, and I understand. At the same time, if development is going to be happening, I want it to be done and look like this. Um, $1 million houses everywhere. It's not the market. We don't live in a market where every house is going to be $1 million house development. We don't live in a house or in a market where every development's going to have acre to 2 acre lots like we did when we were growing up. That's not it doesn't make sense for developers to do that. But what Diamond Peak does is they do a great job of offering. I've sat in their showroom. I've worked with them many, many, many times. They do a great job of offering like a semi-custom home option. They have plans. You can go in there and you can like customize, like almost you can make changes, you can add on, add additions. They do a great job. And so if you were going to have developments, this is the type of development that I would love to see. So Capstone is, like I said, south side of 133rd. From my understanding, the total development, the first phase looks like it's only about 36 lots. Second phase is going to be like 130 lots. But the total development here, it's a big amount of land. It looks like when it's all said and done, and I'm sure this will be at least probably a 5, 7, 10-year project, um, is over 600 homes. Now, I don't think all of those are Diamond Peak, but I know that that initial phase or the initial phases will be uh, Diamond Peak. They've got lot sizes or lots, not huge lots. Okay, so it's not going to be a big lot sizes. You're talking about quarter acre or a little bit less. Walkout and daylight basement options available. Private wooded lots available. Fully serviced flat lots available. They have started that. So if you guys are in the market looking for something nice. I mean, this particular home right here on Diamond Peak's website, I sold that house. Those are my client's custom home. We went, sat down, they picked out everything. It turned out awesome, for a reasonable number when you look at it comparatively. And I think Diamond Peak does a really good job of that. And they build quality and they do like they work with local contractors, local people. One thing I love that Diamond Peak did not long ago was they started, I believe is it American Trust Company, but they bought do you remember the old Soccerville? Do you guys remember Soccerville in Maryville? They bought that building and they turned it into a trust business, which trusts are like you put trusts for support in between your floors, between your basement and your main floor. And then also just like wood for framing. They bought that building. There's like 60 something full-time jobs there now. People working, and they started a company that builds trusts and other things for we're having camera issues with that one, but with Gabe's camera. But they started that business, and now they've got I think like 60 some full time employees there, and they're so everything is local with them, and I love that about them. So anyway, that's something for me that if we're gonna have a development, this is the type of development that I want to see. So anyway, is Gabe on or no? Okay, Gabe, what do you think about this?
Personally, this location is probably, at least for me personally, one of my favorite locations in Northwest Indiana. Just being on the south side of the Crown Point High School. I mean, there's some really cool homes over there. I know I'm going to be looking to move here in the next year to two, and that's going to be almost the exact location I'm looking for. Um,
Can I be your agent?
I'll
Yeah.
interview
Oh,
you.
thank you. Yeah.
I'll put you in
I
the
charge
hat.
9%. As a buyer's agent, you have to pay the difference.
I'll pay the rest. Don't worry. No, but I absolutely love this location. And like I said, this is exactly where I want to be. So I'm excited for this. There's not too many newer development. Well, I take that back. You have the galleries, but what's the other new development that's going to be over there? But it's going to be actually like Greensworth, right? Larger lots. I understand this is going to be smaller lots, a little bit more on the affordability scale.
The Greensburg, which is literally like just like you drive less than 2 minutes down the street
Right.
on 133rd, you won't find a house in there for under 1.2. I think you're gonna find 10 houses in there for over 2 million. I think you're going to find 3 to 5 over $3 million, maybe even more. Honestly, there are some really nice properties going in over there, and this is all right there. The galleries. Shout out to Troy Hill on our team. He just sold a property in that neighborhood, $1.2 million, right next to this. House built 15, 20 years ago. This is a phenomenal location. Like Gabe said, YMCA, high school, 7 minutes to the square, Yuki Country Club's right there. And you're just like on the edge of Crown Point civilization. Because if you go like 30 seconds south, it's like nice and quiet in cornfields. So, and I don't think you're going to see a lot of development going that direction for a while. So, anyway, sorry, I cut you off.
No, you said what I was going to say.
Yeah.
I just love that location, and it'll be a little bit more affordable than the other options that are going to be there, like
Yes.
Greenswood.
Yeah,
So
you'll be able to get a house in there in the 500s. You know what I mean? And a nice home. Now, I think most of them are probably going to be in the 600s. That's just knowing kind of what those houses go for. Most of them are going to be in the 600s, but nice neighborhoods, nice neighborhood, nice communities, nice homes, local, like good quality homes. Like this to me is the type of development that we want to see. So yeah, I live in Capstone. Heck yeah, great neighborhood. It's a great neighborhood. That this neighborhood should do really well when it comes to resale. and building and just development. All right, we'll finish up with this Zombie Club next door to us here on the square. Zombie Club to be replaced by another bar after more than 30 years. Rest in peace, Zombie Club. It's weird not seeing them walk across the front window right now, throwing bottles in the alleyway at the in the dumpsters in the alley. But Zombie Club closed. This is a NWI Times story. This was 19 hours ago by Joseph S. Pete. Two first names. Joseph Pete. Zombie Club closed downtown Crown Point and closed in downtown Crown Point and is slated to be replaced by another bar called Public Enemy's Pub. Now, Kyle really wants a new sports bar. Okay. He's really looking for a sports bar. So hopefully they can do that for him. If you guys are watching Public Enemy's Pub, make it a sports bar. I kind of like that it's going to be a bar, to be honest with you. Like, we've lost a lot of bars. Reg is gone. White Ryan or Safe House is gone, which, I mean, now it's just, for lease or whatever. We've lost some good bars. Okay. Somehow Martoni's standing strong. Kyle's favorite place to find some cougars, and all that to be that's a story for a different day. I love that we ended on this. All that to be said, I think Kyle's gonna have a good time at Public Enemy's Pub, and hopefully they can put some TVs in for him. The dive bar at 118 West Clark Street has been a fixture in the old county courthouse square, but it lost its lease. They sold the building sold, lost the lease, and now it's gone. So Zombie Club, man, what a place. Silver Bullet's gone too, So Silver Bullet, Registry, Safe House. I mean, DJs. Crown Point as we know it is falling apart, man. Oh, that's why he's a Red Devil now. Gosh. Well, anyway, rest in peace, Zombie Club. We appreciate you for all your service and your drinks. Fairly priced drinks. That's all we got. We're done. Hope you guys appreciate it. Thank you so much. And see you guys next time. Thank you.